Civil War, the craziest road trip movie since Due Date, is finally here. And wow, this movie is pretty fucking controversial. Audience reactions seem to be super divisive, and you're probably wondering why it's having that effect. Well, I'm here to tell you why. But before I do, I must warn you that this review will contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen Civil War yet, you've been warned. Alright, let's get into it. So, Civil War is a near future movie that takes place in a dystopian America where a war within the country has been going on for quite some time. The story follows a group of journalists who embark on a journey to the White House, basically to interview the president. And pretty much the whole movie shows these people driving through dangerous war zones to get to Washington, D.C. The group includes Kirsten Dunst playing a journalist photographer, along with Pablo Escobar, some old dude, and Jesse, a young aspiring journalist photographer who idolizes Kirsten Dunst. As they journey across the country, they experience the atrocities of war, running into near-death experiences and capturing unsettling images of brutality. Eventually, they get to the White House and they confront the president, played by Ron Swanson, and he gets killed by military people. And that's the movie.
What do you think, Larry?
Now, this may seem like an interesting concept on paper, but the execution was not really that great. Sure, this movie is eerie and had some riveting scenes, which I liked, but overall, it wasn't anything special by any means. First off, the movie does a poor job explaining why America is in a civil war, and the characters going on a journey to DC just makes no fucking sense to me. Like, what's the point? What will interviewing the president do for the war? None of this shit is answered. I honestly didn't get enough out of the Civil War in a movie titled Civil War, which is pretty fucking ridiculous. Also, while the acting was great, I just didn't really care for any of the characters. One thing that was super dumb about this movie was when Kirsten Dunst gets killed in the end. Like, honestly, this may have been one of the dumbest scenes I have seen in a long time, and probably the dumbest death scene I have seen in a long time. Basically, when the group gets to the White House, they run into the opposing army and they get shot at, and Jessie literally stands in front of them to take a photo with her stupid little camera while she has guns pointed at her, and Kirsten Dunst sacrifices herself to save her. She pushes her out of the way, and they shoot Kirsten Dunst down instead. So she basically takes a bullet for her number one fan. And what does her quote-unquote number one fan do after this happens? She takes a picture of Kirsten Dunst while she's dying, and then she just leaves her without checking on her for even a second. Like, what the fuck? I understand that her job is to capture the craziness of war. Sure, whatever. But holy shit, like, you could at least help your idol out or some shit. I don't know, like, you don't need to take every fucking picture. God, what a stupid fucking scene. Besides that, as I said earlier, there were at least some scenes that I liked. Particularly the scene when they run into Jesse Plemons, playing a shady military dude who holds the group hostage for a brief period of the movie. This scene was intense, and Jesse Plemons' performance had just the right amount of menace and hostility that I needed from a guy like him. But even so, those types of scenes were not enough to save this movie from its mediocrity. Now, to answer the question on why this movie is so damn controversial. Basically, lots of people are arguing that this movie is a wet dream for libtards. And yeah, for the most part, I think I would say that's true. People are claiming that this movie is a piece of leftist propaganda that makes people on the left look like the good guys and makes people on the right look like the bad guys. And to top that off, people think that Ron Swanson is giving off strong Trump vibes in his performance as the president. And I guess the whole purpose of this movie is to show the president getting killed by, like, military people from the liberal side, I guess? So with that in mind, I'm sure you can piece together why certain audiences feel this way. And I completely understand. I think that a movie with the interesting concept of a modern-day American Civil War should follow both sides and not include such strong bias towards only one side. But the director, Alex Garland, was like, nah, fuck that, let's just be biased as fuck. That just doesn't sit right with me. But honestly, I'm not surprised. This is nothing new. Also, it's really dumb how the main characters and the military were able to get into the White House and confront the president so fucking easily. Like, he literally was alone and had no Secret Service with him. That's like really fucking stupid. If there was a war going on and the president's life was in danger, he would not be hiding in the most obvious fucking place ever, aka the fucking White House. He would be in a secure location where no one can find him and he would be surrounded by security. Like he would have security up the ass. Anyways, the movie gets a few points for having some good scenes, an eerie theme and tone, a good musical score, good acting, and an interesting dystopian concept. But besides that, the characters were bland and boring for the most part, the biased liberal agenda was overdone, and overall, I just didn't get much out of the story, the message, and the stupid ass ending. This movie is nothing more than a mediocre Black Mirror episode. I'm gonna give Civil War a 5 out of 10. As always, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more movie reviews.